Hello, I am the Irish guy, and this transfer window is getting exciting. Finally! I mean, the month of July was about as exciting as watching earwigs playing chess. But now I'm going to go through every Premier League club and find one crazy, wacky player that your club is actively trying to sign as we speak, and some of these are utter wild, like George of the Jungle crazy. By the way, if you're new, hit that subscribe button. Let's try and get this to 205,000 subscribers. That will be crazy. That will be nuttier than a squirrel with the mumps. Right, let's go. Arsenal, Mikel Merino. Yes, Mikel Merino is finally fashionable again. I guarantee you, as soon as this 28-year-old Euro 2024 winning Spanish international finally holds up his Arsenal shirt after a mega money move from Real Sociedad, I already know that some journalist donut is going to ask this bloke if he's finally achieved his dream of playing Premier League football. I don't think anyone really remembers that Merino already played in this league with Newcastle. I mean, sure, the Geordies were squealing about what a technically sound midfielder he was 7 years ago, and yet nobody ever noticed he was there. Everyone else showed him about as much attention as I would at Mrs. Brown Boy's Christmas special. To be fair, he did actually fail to get into Rafa Benitez's team after Christmas, which is strange. A future Spain champion losing his midfield spot to Mohamed Diame. Imagine telling someone back then that one day Arsenal would create a £200 million title challenging midfield consisting of this Newcastle bench warmer and the Irish centre-back kid at West Ham. Oh yeah, and the Norwegian lost child at Real Madrid. They would think you were one of those crazy people who eat beanie babies for breakfast. Well, lads, he's basically a younger Jorginho and is going to fit the Arsenal midfield perfectly. Although I bet it's going to confuse his teammates when he's got the same name as his boss. You just know Marino's going to accidentally eat his lunch. Aston Villa, Luciariel Gertruda. Look, you would have expected new Liverpool manager Arne Slot to raid his former club Feyenoord for footballers, right? I mean, Erik ten Hag has been obsessed with Ajax players ever since he left, to such a degree that he's probably banned from coming within 500 meters of the Amsterdam Arena. As soon as he got that Manchester United job, he essentially raided his old club with all the mercy of a hungry Viking. But no, instead, Feyenoord's top players from last season are actually being sprinkled around the other Premier League clubs, with Gambian winger Yankuba Minte winding up at Brighton in a £33 million deal, and now Aston Villa are closing in on a deal for versatile 24-year-old Dutch international centre-back slash defensive midfielder Luciariel Gertruda. So let me get this straight. Unai Emery is targeting a high-pressing Dutch player from Feyenoord, while Slot is trying to tempt away a midfielder from the Basque region of Spain. Are we totally sure these two managers haven't accidentally mixed up their shopping lists? I mean, what next? Will Emery be seen tucking into a morning pizza sprinkled with Rogaine powder, with Slot now drinking a cup of human blood? What? Emery looks like a vampire, alright? Bournemouth Julian Araujo. Yeah, when Bournemouth fans heard that they were signing Araujo from Barcelona, they probably all lost their minds, but no, it's not the monster centre-back Ronald, it's Julian. Weirdly, they're not even related. Yeah, Bournemouth are closing in on a €10 million deal for 22-year-old Barcelona right back and Mexico international Julian Araujo, somebody with 100 MLS appearances to his name at LA Galaxy, and 0 minutes on the pitch for Barca. So calm down, okay? He's technically a Barcelona employee, sure. But this stinks when the club sold Yerry Mina to Everton after just 5 Barcelona games. Or when they gave Emerson Royal to Spurs after just 3 Barcelona games. Or when they gave Jean-Claire Todibo to Nice after just 5 Barcelona games. But 0 minutes? He's been told to swap the Nou Camp for an 11,000-seater stadium that is basically a luxury hotel for seagulls. The guy is very unlucky because Sergino Dest is a USA right back who played over 70 times for Barcelona when he was barely out of his teens, and Araujo arguably is nearly as good. So to have his Barcelona dream destroyed before he even gets a single minute on the pitch, it's cruel. Brentford, Jens Kajuste. Yeah, Brentford have agreed a deal to sign Napoli midfielder Jens Kajuste on an initial season-long loan with an obligation to buy for £10 million next summer. He's a 24-year-old Sweden international who, to be fair, was an absolute garbage flop after swapping Reims for the Italian champions last summer. He played 35 times in his debut season and contributed to their embarrassing collapse from first to 10th. So again, just like Everton getting their paws on another Scandinavian Napoli failure in Jesper Lindstrom, if I was a B, I would be a little worried about reaching my hand into Antonio Conte's bin. Brighton Mats Hummels. Okay, at the minute, Brighton are clearly obsessed with being the ones to win the race for Celtic's in-demand midfielder Matt O'Reilly. Well, I'm sorry, how has he become the most sought-after midfielder in Europe? He's had the likes of Atalanta, Juventus, and Chelsea all chasing after him too. Sorry? Can everyone please stop pretending that this 23-year-old is a mini Pogba? He's a decent, fine, I'll play the game. Danish midfield. I'm sorry, I can't. Am I really supposed to pretend that he's Danish when his name is literally Matthew Sean O'Reilly? He sounds like he should be playing hurling for Wexford, whilst helping his dad scrape cow silage off the family bog on Sunday afternoons. He definitely sounds like someone who eats spuds and cabbage for tea. But no, I think that the craziest player the Brighton are after right now is another Mats Hummels. Look, I know he's now a free agent, but he's a 35-year-old world champion centre-back who has made a career out of being passed between Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund like a hot potato. Can you imagine if Brighton managed to sign Barcelona wonderkid Ansu Fati on loan one summer and then follow that up with the acquisition of a Bundesliga legend? It wasn't so long ago that the Seagulls were getting excited about signing Shane Duffy as a centre-back immediately after he scored 3 own goals and was sent off in his final 2 games for Blackburn. Yeah, Hummels, by contrast, literally just played in a Champions League final against Real Madrid. What is going on? Chelsea Samu Omorodian. What on earth is this? We shouldn't even be surprised anymore to see Chelsea chasing yet another youngster we've never seen play. After Julian Alvarez left Man City for Atletico Madrid in a huge £81 million deal, Chelsea are now opportunistically pouncing on Atleti's 20-year-old striker Samu Omorodian, someone who is yet to even make his debut for the club. Lads, I thought it was a risk for Chelsea to sign Nicholas Jackson based off just one 12-goal season for Villarreal, but Omorodian, he just had an 8-goal season for Alavs. That is it. Okay, I guess the season before, 18 goals in 33 games for Recreativo Granada in the Spanish 4th tier. Look, Omorodian is built like Drogba, so everyone is getting unexcited, but another £35 million paycheck. You were basically taking the Conor Gallagher money that Atletico Madrid just gave you for your actual club captain, and you're giving it straight back to them for an unproven child. It's been like if Marvel agreed to kill off Captain America and replace him with a kid off Dexter's Laboratory. I think the geeks would be mad. Crystal Palace Wilfred Zaha. It is crazy. After spending years trying his best to escape his long-term but lucrative Crystal Palace contract, apparently Wilfred Zaha is closing in on a return to Sellers Park. After what? Bear in mind, this is somebody who has escaped the club twice already. He got his blockbuster Manchester United move when he was a 20-year-old boy, but he couldn't stay away, and so within a year, he was back at the club. Same thing now 10 years later. He since realized his Champions League dream with Galatasaray last season, and now 12 months on, he's locked in talks about a return to Palace on loan. I'm sorry, what? This is like watching your poor old auntie continue to get back with that awful stepdad who spends every day eating kittens and belching on the couch. Look, to be fair, Palace are in a quality moment right now, and Zaha probably wants a bit of that under Oliver Glasner. He wants to be worshipped as a London king again, and maybe he's been scared away from Turkey by a looming title challenge against Big Daddy Merino. But still, going back to Palace after just a year, twice, he really must be a homesick vegetable. But still, what a signing this would be for Glasner Ball. Everton, Calvin Phillips. Yeah, this isn't too surprising, I guess. Calvin Phillips is the exact oafish bag of potatoes that Sean Dyche would love to have in his plotting midfield. To be fair, 3 years ago, Phillips was immense, an absolutely quality defensive midfield destroyer at Leeds, and considering he then had the likes of Guardiola sniffing around him, then managers like Dyche could only ever dream of getting the chance to work with a player like him. Honestly, you'd be like Thomas Frank expecting to get his paws on Adam Wharton one day. Unlikely. But yeah, KP, if he can get his form back, he'd be a decent signing for the Toffees. Fulham, Diego Carlos. Whoa, I did not see this one coming. It only feels like 10 minutes ago that newly rich Newcastle were obsessed with prizing £35 million Brazilian beefcake centre-back Diego Carlos out of Sevilla in Spain. He was their first choice before Sven Botman. He goes to Aston Villa instead, instantly shatters his knee in his first game under Stevie G, but came back last season, swapping places with Tyrone Mings on the treatment table, and played 38 games last campaign, helping Villa qualify for the Champions League. So to hear that Fulham are now chasing this 31-year-old centre-back, really? After all that fuss, after all the Geordie obsession with the guy, with Newcastle fans spending hours watching YouTube clips of the man, is his end goal really just mid-table mediocrity at Fulham? I did not see this one coming at all. Ipswich Town, Wilson Odebert. Yeah, apparently Kieran McKenna is chasing Burnley's 19-year-old French winger Wilson Odebert. I guess he's a talent, but meh. Leicester City, Facundo Buonanotte. Yes, apparently Steve Cooper has got 5 more signings up his sleeve before deadline day. Wow, Nottingham Forest really did turn him into a shopaholic. But the latest one through the door is Argentinian winger Facundo Buonanotte. Look, this kid is a wow signing. And I know Ipswich Town fans are going to be moaning in the comments. All one of them, because I've just said a big fat meh to their potential 19-year-old winger, and yet I'm giving a huge thumbs up to this teenage kid from Brighton. Well, yes, because Buonanotte is much better. He played 36 times for Roberto De Zerbi last season. I mean, considering he's available on a loan, I'm surprised he wasn't immediately snapped up by Marseille. This kid is an absolute top talent. Come on. He is a full Argentina international. He's mates with Messi, even though his surname does sound a bit like a type of veggie Italian pizza. But wow, what a deal this is gonna be. Liverpool, Martin Zubimendi. Finally, Liverpool are closing in on their first actual signing of the summer. Why is it taking so long? Maybe they were going through the transfer list in alphabetical order. But the Reds are trying to take Manchester United target 25-year-old Euro 2024 winning Spanish midfielder Martin Zubimendi out of Real Sociedad for £51 million. People have been comparing this ball-playing midfield maestro to Xabi Alonso. He is someone who came on and changed the game for Spain in the final against England. He is a quality passing monster of a midfielder who retains the ball excellently, but unlike Alonso, can also dribble majestically. A bit like a David Silva. If this comes off, incredibly exciting move for Liverpool. Man City and Berge. Look, Manchester City are going to be in the market for a Julian Alvarez replacement, and I actually think João Pedro from Brighton would be the perfect fit to sit on the bench. He'll be 2024's answer to what Gabriel Jesus used to be. And I'm sure Pedro would rather play for one of the greatest managers of all time than some bloke from Texas who wasn't legally allowed to watch Zombieland in the cinema without his mum. Okay, that was me. I don't know. I guess there's half-hearted links to Crystal Palace's Maverick midfielder Berge too, but I actually don't think that one's going to happen either. So, next. Man United Sander Berge. I'm sorry. Is this 2020? Manchester United being linked with Sander Berge made sense when he was an up-and-coming Norwegian midfielder star at Genk, but he has since been relegated from the Premier League twice. Across his last two Premier League campaigns for Sheffield United and Burnley, Berge has been on the losing side in 41 of his 55 games. I don't want to hear about his passing accuracy. This guy is the Manchester United reincarnation of Morgan Schneiderlin. Berge turns 27 years old this season. There is no potential sell-on value here. I mean, did someone at Manchester United just come across a scrunched up shopping list that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer left behind in one of the fighting cabinets? A shopping list filled with fellow Norwegians? If so, then don't be shocked to see Manchester United once again offer a contract to Josh King. It was strange enough for Bayern Munich to come knocking on Burnley's door this summer. But if Manchester United turn up to Turf Moor looking for players, then it really will look a bit like seeing George Clooney buying shoes in Poundland. Newcastle Marquet. If this deal actually gets completed, then surely this is one of the most surprising transfers of the summer. After his brilliant centre-back showings for England at Euro 2024, Marquet was getting transfer links from Crystal Palace to Liverpool. I did not see Newcastle immediately storming into London to try and complete a £60 million deal. Gay wants this transfer, and if it goes through, Chelsea really should feel embarrassed. When everyone is fit at St James's Park, then the back four of Tino Livramento, Marquet, Sven Botman, and Lewis Hall, 3 of those came through with Stamford Bridge, spending a combined 26 years at Chelsea. If that defence gets Champions League football ahead of Chelsea's newly assembled £200 million back four, it'll be embarrassing beyond belief. Nottingham Forest Galeno. Yeah, right now, Nottingham Forest are trying to pull off a major coup. They've just failed with a bid for 26-year-old Porto winger Galeno. Porto are demanding £30 million for this Brazilian trickster, someone who scored 16 goals last season, 15 the season before, and this season he already has a 2-1 goal scoring record. I mean, just banged in 2 against Sporting Lisbon in Porto's Super Cup win. If Forest can sign this Brazil international winger just 6 months after he made his Brazil debut against Spain, where he came off the bench before Man City's Savio, then oh yes, this will be a coup. Southampton Fabio Carvalho. Yeah, Southampton just had a £15 million bid knocked back by Liverpool for Fabio Carvalho, which seems mean. I mean, after all the world-class Saints players you robbed from them over the years, you could at least have given them his 21-year-old Portuguese rugrat who you've consistently ignored ever since he joined from Fulham 2 years ago, Dominic Solanke. Really? The guy who is destined to replace Harry Kane as the long-term centre-forward leading the line for Spurs, it's Dominic Solanke. If you had suggested this to Tottenham fans a year ago, they would have gotten sick all over the floor. 26-year-old Solanke is a decent target man, and he just had a great season up front for Bournemouth, but I can't help but feel that at Spurs, he is just going to be a mixture of Roberto Soldado and Darren Bent. Not terrible, not woeful, but 10 goals a season? West Ham, Jean-Claire Todibo. Where did this come from? After Jean-Claire Todibo, this young Nice centre-back, was heavily linked with Manchester United, with Todibo having apparently held out for Juventus all summer long, to now be closing in on a £35 million move to West Ham. Where did this one come from? What a shock signing this one's going to be. He's a 24-year-old, top-class France international centre-back, someone who's been on the books of Barcelona. And guess what? As far as I know, this one doesn't kick cats. What a signing, just absolute wow. Can I now change my prediction and tip West Ham to finish 6th? Wolves, Emmanuel Latilaf. Yeah, Wolves are sniffing around Emmanuel Latilaf, a 24-year-old Ivory Coast international striker who was finally binned off by Atalanta last summer after 8 years and no debut, but he did just explode with 18 goals in his debut season at Middlesbrough. But relax, Wolves, okay, because Chuba Akpom had a monstrous 29-goal season at Borough recently, and he then barely scraped 11 goals in the Dutch league last season. So, relax. Anyway, that's even what you let me know. What signing are you most excited about? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, as always. I'll talk to you in a while.